Hello, and welcome back to another episode of 100 Southeast Asian Films in 100 Days. And today we'll be talking about these 5 films. And the first one this week, Of the Flesh by Marilu Diaz-Abaya. Honestly, I have very little words on how to describe this film because of how it made me speechless. There's so many things about this film that makes it gorgeously terrifying. At the very start, it sets a clear tone on how tragic and ruthless the story will be. However, even with it, I was still at the edge of my seat by the end of it. Every aspect of the film, from sound to production design, was almost near perfect to me. It doesn't only tell you the story from the surface, but shows you what is deeper within, revealing the horrors of the characters' true intentions and the sins that are worth questioning if they are forgivable. It doesn't hesitate to show you the hellscape that corrupt patriarchal systems can destroy anyone who controls it or the ones that it controls. And the second one this week, The Guava House by Dang Nhat Min. This film is a pleasant and heartbreaking one that centers around sweet memories and nostalgia. It's so gentle that the slightest wound this film gives you hurts so much. You get fed with information at unexpected times, like picking falling fruits is one way to put it. The camera feels graceful, it has shots that make you empathize and frames that tell a bigger picture. As the film progresses, that softness is challenged by a resisting force, making way for change at the cost of the weak. It's like watching a soul disappear without even having the chance to say goodbye. It's a story that starts off with a hopeful path, ends up in a poignant, silent departure. And the third film this week, Madu Tiga by P. Ramlee. P. Ramlee has this adorable and endearing energy that reflects brightly in his acting. The over-the-top expressive face and body movement that are either trying to present manliness or wimpish comes off funny because he is a master at comic acting. The writing of the film is a satire look at the Malay society and specifically the view of Malay male norms on marriage, the freedom to choose, and misogynistic behaviors. One subtle thing I noticed that pokes the Malay male behaviors was using religion and praying that their sins and mistakes would go away. Subtle but noticeable, critical in itself. Overall, it was a fun film to watch and I did enjoy myself. However, I wasn't a fan of how light-hearted most of the film felt like. And the fourth film this week, The Passerine Bird by Tran Vu and Van Tong Nguyen. The Passerine Bird is another heartbreaking film that centers around war and making sacrifices for the greater good for the people you care about the most, and the people who comes after have freedom. It's a narrative heavy one, nothing spectacular in terms of camera or art style, however it still manages to convey the message across effectively about livelihoods of the people during a war that they did not decide to be in, but want to defend what is theirs. The story and pacing is direct, concise, and honest about the war and the damage it can do not just physically but also mentally. This film is a display of how short life can be because of the forces that these lives have no control of and have to make the most of it throughout and after. The body might not be present, but ideas that come from the mind will live forever. And for the fifth film this week, The Tiger from Tjampa by D. Jajakusuma. I'd start with the music that sings out his feelings, which I would say is cute. The character development is also another thing in this film that got me thinking of conventional decisions I was predicting, but surprised me with the route he went with. There were a couple of unexpected things that I did not assume will happen throughout. This film not just has the story and characters that drive it, but the exploration of culture, tradition, and identity was on the surface of all of this. Basically that despite different cultures and traditions, humans from a different part of the globe can be fighting over pride, goals, and even greed. Conversely, there will also be humans fighting for change and justice. Unfortunately, I wasn't too invested in the film, but I still have to give my credit for it. That is all for this week's 5 films. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment down any of your thoughts. And I'll see you next week.